And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today I am reviewing No Man's Sky, released in 2016 on multiple different platforms. You might have heard of No Man's Sky before in any worst games of 2016 list, but how does it stack up now in 2025? And this is another one of the games that I got to play on the Xbox Game Pass that is actually already has run out. But I got one more after this that I was able to play too. But yeah, but just know the days are numbered for the Xbox Game Pass reviews. I did not renew my subscription either. Sorry. But yeah, I was very intrigued to even try this game because of how bad it was. And I was trying to figure out why it was so bad. And I got a lot of thoughts on it, so let's just jump right into it, shall we? I will say, it kind of reminds me of a more serious Lethal Company. You're still going in and you're still collecting things and you're still like traversing worlds and doing all this sort of stuff. But it's not a very like humorous take. There's not a lot of like funny items. It's not nearly as scary either. But it had the same feel to it as Lethal Company did. If anybody who's ever played Lethal Company before, you can check out our Lethal Company videos here on the channel. But I will say as well, it is pretty fun to traverse the large world. There's a lot to see and there's a lot to explore in these worlds, whether it's just like the nature or some actual like buildings or other events going on around the world. There's the environments all look really good, the animals all look really good, the characters even look pretty good, and especially with the animals, I like the kind of the designs that they went for. They have the essence of animals you would see in real life, but they have their own like kind of space type take on them, and they look really good. So I was very very pleasantly surprised about that. Um, and while it may be fun, I think, to traverse the large world, there's some cases there's not a lot to do in between areas that you have to get to. It's like you're going from one base to another to try and track something down, and you're going through these mountains, and while there's like cool trees to look at or nice background landscape, there's not really much else to do, not even really a whole lot to collect or really like things to get, especially the farther that you get through the game. It doesn't help that the character that you play as doesn't move very fast. He has a jetpack that you can use, but be careful, because if you fly off a ledge and his jetpack runs out, you're dead, and that kind of sucks. Though he does seem to have pretty good health, I will say. But yeah, not much to do in between, and that kind of goes back to a complaint that I had from one of the earliest game reviews I ever did, which was Breath of the Wild. That game, in my opinion, it feels like there's just not a lot to do in between areas that you get to go to, and I have some similar complaints here. Though with the changes in like the weather, and there is some things to see at least, and some things you can interact with, it's just really never much worth your time. But other than that, I mean, I really don't have much complaints. I mean, there's not a whole lot of combat, especially at the beginning, but it does kind of work its way in. And, the characters are kind of pretty cool. And when you do get to the places that you go, there is a lot of fun things that you can do, fun things to interact with that are not necessarily important to interact with, but you can interact with, and it's pretty cool. And the story does start to pick up a little bit, though it's not necessarily the most massive component, in my opinion, at least. But I still think it was pretty fun. So, but looking all of that, my final verdict about this game, did it really deserve the hate it got in 2016? I mean, really, I cannot determine that. Because I think a lot of people's complaints with this game was that I sneezed. But also that it didn't seem like it was finished. Now that the game has been around for a while and it's finished, I think people's perceptions of the game has definitely changed for good. A lot of people really like this game now. So, did it deserve the hate it got in 2016? Probably. Does it deserve it now? Absolutely not. If you get the chance to play this game, I definitely think it is one that you should play. I think it's a, especially if you're like into like space stuff. It has a bit of Star Wars-esque stuff to it. Not really, but if you're into Star Wars, you might like this game too. But if you're just into like games, if you're a Zelda fan, like if you liked Breath of the Wild, and it's not just because you're a hardcore Zelda fan, I think you'll really like this game too. Space stuff, exploration, that kind of stuff. This is definitely the game for you. So, but for my final score of No Man's Sky, I'm gonna have to give it a good 6. I'll give it a 6. That's okay. It's just okay in my opinion. It's not anything crazy, but I can definitely appreciate a lot of good aspects about this game, and I really didn't hate my time playing it. I enjoyed it, but it was not something I would like. With it being on Xbox Game Pass, I was kind of looking for that game that I'd be intrigued to purchase post subscription, and this one really wasn't it either. And so yeah, kind of it's oh well. Anyways, guys, though, that's going to do it for this game review. If you've ever played No Man's Sky, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more video game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.